2, 1.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the International Weather Alert Team YouTube Live. We are going live today because we have a significant chance for severe weather in the south. We do have already had multiple tornado warnings today, as well as confirmed ones that have already been on the ground. We currently have a tornado warning on the board. This just came out not too long ago from the National Weather Service in Lake Charles for eastern Tyler and central Jasper counties in southeastern Texas until 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. This was radar indicated rotation, and it also is accompanied with quarter-size hail. So if you are in those counties, please take shelter immediately. Our goal here on this live is to make sure everybody's safe and that they are able to make it out of severe weather in one piece and alive. We thank you for watching us today, and if you'd like to subscribe to know when we are going to go live again, just hit the bell for notifications. And please share it with your friends and family so that way they can be better informed. There are many to choose from, and we are just one, and go ahead and choose whichever one you'd like to watch, because that's what we're all here for, is to make everybody safe. Today joining me is Jake, our Chief of Operations in the UK. He's also running our stream, so thank you, Jake. As well as our Chief of Radar and Weather, Stephen, out of Tennessee. Hi. And we also have Caleb, our Assistant Chief of Radar and Weather, out of Southern Ohio. So thank you all for joining me today on this live stream. So we will all be kind of taking turns talking and giving out information. If you have any comments or questions, go ahead and post them in the chat. Jake will let us know what y'all are saying. And with that, let's do some weather. Stephen, if you want to kind of run us down what we've got going on today so far.
I don't even know where to begin, honestly. It's just kind of been an all-day thing, you know. It started about, well, it's been continuing since from last night's convection in Texas. This current TOR is actually kind of interesting. Putting off a little bit of a hook signature right here, indicating that rotation is, well, very much feasible in this storm. And this will be heading east, and we'll be crossing Highway 96 momentarily.
All right, so if you're in that vicinity of that particularly dangerous storm, if you're on the roadway, well, I hope you're not watching us, but maybe listening, stop or get out of the way, take shelter immediately. And if you are in the path of that storm in any of those counties or the cities that those counties are in, please take shelter immediately. These storms have produced multiple tornadoes today, as well as some very significantly large hail. We've had 3-inch diameter hail up in Shreveport already today. Currently, this storm is showing a 2-inch hail marker, which is fairly significantly large. Will hurt if it hits you on the head. Trust me, I've been there. So stay inside, get to the basement, get to your safe spot, interior room of the house. Stay away from windows. I know it's one of those things we all want to go out and take a video and post it to our social media. Those are always great. I understand. We love seeing them. But if you are in that dangerous storm path, please take shelter. Your life is worth more than that video and those views. Trust me on that. We want you all to be safe. Caleb, do you have anything you'd like to report?
Nothing at this time. Just going to continue to keep an overwatch over the storm.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. Oh, station break. We have a new tornado warning on the board.
I will get that for you. Alright. The National Weather Service in Lake Charles has issued a tornado warning for Central Vernon Parish in west central Louisiana until 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. At 2:04 p.m. Central Standard Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near New Lano. or near Fort Polk, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. A hazardous tornado and source is radar indicated rotation. This time we have 2 TORs on the board.
So if you are in the path of that new tornado warning, please take shelter immediately. These
that's for that
storms have
news watch.
all produced tornadoes today. If you are in the new Llano area or Leesville, please take shelter immediately. These storms have produced dangerous tornadoes thus far, and we want you all to be safe. And this is for the
Pretty significant area of rotation.
All right, go ahead, Caleb.
I thought I had a second there to get it in. Pretty significant area of rotation. It is crossing over I-171 at this time. It does appear it's probably going to hit the south end of New Llano into the south end of Leesville. It does appear Coopers, Pickering, Fort Polk, Billy Goat Hill. You guys are in the direct path of this storm at this time.
If you're in any of those areas, please take shelter immediately.
Absolutely, guys. If your sirens are going off, then do take your shelter if he's not going off. And you can see that he's heading your way on the stream, then do, again, take shelter.
The tornado warning will remain in effect until 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time for East Central Tyler and Central Jasper counties. Now at 2:05 p.m. Central Standard Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Town Bluff, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. Hazardous tornado and quarter-size hail source is radar indicated rotation. So that storm is still rotating.
Copy that. Just looking into that SVR over Grove Hill. We do have a rotation marker with a meso marker, quarter-inch hail. We have a VIL of 29 and DBZ of 59.
Copy that.
All right, that is for Mississippi, that SVR. A severe thunderstorm warning is for the Mississippi area. It is showing a possible tornado attached to this, which means that the conditions are very favorable for a tornado to produce, which means that we are showing slight rotation with this storm. Again, this is for Washington, Clark, and Wilcox County in, southwestern Alabama. Got my states mixed up there. I apologize. This is for Alabama. This was out of the National Weather Service in Mobile, and this is until 2:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. These storms are also going to be accompanied by very strong winds as well. So we want to make sure that if they do decide to get in your direction, that you are, as they say, battening down the hatches. Make sure your screen doors are latched, otherwise they'll go flying off like the Wizard of Oz.
A quick update on this southwestern TOR that's just to the northwest of Kirbyville. Rotation does appear to be broadening out a good bit. However, it will be crossing the US 96 corridor just south of Jasper in the next few minutes.
All right. So if you're in the area of
Copy
that
that.
particular storm, it is still moving and still causing some rotation, which can produce a tornado.
Is moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Do not ask me to transpose that into kilometers because I don't know maths.
It's all right. If we were looking at the UK, I'd have my transfer over. That way I know exactly what the kilometers were. But most of us here do use the miles per hour, so I think we should be okay. But thank you for that, Caleb.
Mm-mm.
Also, for the record, if anybody wanted to know, in the area of Goodrich, Texas, at 11:41 local time, there was a waterspout over Lake Livingston.
Oh, yeah.
One of these storms produced that a few hours ago. A quick update. This northern TR that's coming near the KPOE radar site at this time has crossed over 171. It is in the south area of New Lano at this time. Looks like it's heading up towards Route 28, towards the town of Simpson. As soon as my map wants to cooperate here. It is moving at 45 miles an hour also.
All right.
And give me just a second. Does not show any indication of it being on the ground at this time, according to my map.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. Keep in mind, y'all, we are sitting here looking at radar screens. We do have a few of our friends that we follow on YouTube that are live streaming their chase. And we do get to see a few things from now and again. But we're at the whim of what we can see on radar. So sometimes we get radar indicated rotation, which means that it is showing that there's rotation. And then there's other times where you might hear that it's confirmed by radar, which meaning radar is showing that it is actually on the ground, but it may not have been visualized yet. Otherwise, we do have storm reporters that are out, which are our chasers and spotters, whether they're firemen, police officers, actual emergency management people, or people that are with the National Weather Service that are out watching these storms. And then you have the chasers that you see on YouTube, and that if you run the same radar that we do, Radar Omega, you'll see them out as well. And that's when we do sometimes get to see the actual storm, and we never want to see one of those, but if we do, we get to let you know, so that way you know it is on the ground if it is. Currently, we don't think we have one on the ground yet. However, these storms have had history of producing tornadoes today. We've had several confirmed in Texas, and these storms are moving across, and they're getting into the very extreme 10% risk of tornadic activity today, which also is accompanied with the extreme hail that has been also produced today out of these storms. And these are a couple different storm systems that are moving across the south. This one that's over here coming out of Texas, moving into Louisiana, and also across into Mississippi, and we also have the one that's now in Alabama. And these are all starting to produce all kinds of weather. We do have a new severe weather alert on our board for a severe thunderstorm warning. Stephen? For it's out of the National Weather Service in Jackson, Mississippi.
You're talking, bud. We can't hear you.
Are you muted, Steven? I'll go ahead and read that out while he's getting his mic figured out. So the National Weather Service in Jackson has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Holmes County, southeastern Carroll County, Atala County, southeastern Montgomery County in Mississippi until 3:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. This storm has 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. It looks like it's going to be near Durant, West Possum Neck, and Bowling Green around 2:20 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hesterville around 2:25 p.m. Central Standard Time. Ethel around 2:45, and McCall around 2:50 p.m. Central Standard Time. This storm is moving pretty quick. We're at 50 mile an hour.
Thank you for that, Colin.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do want to highlight, though, we do have a TVS marker, cell Q3, moving east-northeast at 54 miles an hour. Hail probability is at 100%, right along with the severe hail probability at 70%. Max hail size is at 1.25, with a max DBZ of 65, VILs of 41, meso of 3, and a TVS marker. TVS marker just means it's basically rotating. Potential rotation is all that really means.
All right, and that's for that storm we just read off.
It is pretty evident on radar, just north of, what is this, Highway 12, just to the east, northeast of Lexington. There's several spots, really.
So we have
a lull here for a second. I'm going to jump into something real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, Caleb.
Caught my attention. The Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma has upgraded categorical risk for today with their latest issuance. It was going to be the 2000Z issuance. They have done an increased risk to enhance from far eastern Texas through central Louisiana. Go ahead and get that TOR, and I'll continue here in just a second.
Looks like our TOR shrunk there on or by Jasper. This is for central Jasper County. This tornado warning is still into effect until 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we have a new one.
I have a new one.
Go ahead, Stephen.
The National Weather Service in Lake Charles has issued a tornado warning for West Central Rapids Parish in central Louisiana and Eastern Vernon Parish in West Central Louisiana until 2:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. At 2:18 p.m. Central Standard Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Fort Polk, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. A hazardous tornado and source is radar indicated rotation.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
I believe, well, as soon as mine finishes, I was going to say I think that was an extension of mine, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I think this is a reissuance of that one that you were talking about. It's roughly in the same area. So this storm is continuing to rotate. The other one that was on the board did go off the board, so we only have one tornado warning current. Go ahead, Steven. Or Caleb.
Okay, back to what I was saying about the SPC's upgrade to an enhanced risk. This enhanced risk is stretching from the far east portion of Texas through central Louisiana into eastern Louisiana and clear up across the central part of Mississippi. According to their wording, the enhanced risk severe thunderstorms from near the Sabine River to east-northeast into central Mississippi. Some isolated severe storms could be possible into Alabama and western Georgia. And 10% hatched risk for tornadic activity, 15% risk for wind, and a 30% hatched risk for severe hail probability.
Thank you, sir.
Copy.
And they're saying for more information, see mesoscale discussion number 128.
All right, for anybody that is watching, if you want to know what radar we are using for our system, it is Radar Omega. This is not a plug for them by any means, but if anybody wants to keep an eye on storms when you're out and about, or just sitting at home, let's see what the weather's doing. There are several sites and apps that you can use. We just happen to be using Radar Omega for what we look at, and we'd like to thank them for having such an amazing app that many people get to use.
10 out of 10, highly recommend.
Okay.
Checking in with our SVR back in Alabama, a severe thunderstorm will remain in effect until 2:45 p.m. Central Standard Time for northeastern Clark and southwestern Wilcox County. 2:19 p.m. Central Standard Time, a severe thunderstorm was located 6 miles west of Grove Hill, moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. A hazard is 60-mile-an-hour wind source is radar indicated. The tornado possible tag has been removed.
All right. And this is going to include Thomasville, Grove Hill, Pine Hill, and Fulton. If you're in those areas, be on the lookout. Stay indoors. Some high winds with that. Your tornado risk has slightly decreased with that particular storm, but it is always likely that it could happen, so always be on the lookout.
I do have an update on this TOR near the KPOE radar site whenever you're ready.
Go ahead.
Go right ahead.
Alrighty, looks like velocities in this area for wind velocities are right around the 50-mile-an-hour mark. The storm is continuing to move to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. I've got some 1.25 inch hail markers with it. Significant area of rotation still prominent. It does appear it's going to pass to the south of the Simpson area. Right now it's running along Route 28. It could cross that in the next 10 minutes or so. Continuing that northeasterly tract. I've got cell F9, Frank 9. This has a measurement of northeast at 26 mile per hour with a DBZ reading of 56 and a VIL of 19. And let me see here. Correlations too scattered to show anything. I still do not believe anything is on the ground at this time. Echo tops are roughly 40,000 feet. So basically what echo tops are is how tall the storm is, how high up in the atmosphere it is.
Thank you for that. Yeah, we use a lot of different terms and acronyms and all kinds of little things that pop up. So we're going to try to keep you all informed of what we're kind of talking about. So when, like Caleb said, if we talk about echo tops, it kind of tells us how tall the storm. Taller the storm, sometimes the crazier the storm. So that's always a good thing to kind of be wary of when you're looking at different things. So.
Absolutely.
So to recap, we have one tornado on the board that has 20 minutes left. Storm could produce. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for 50 minutes still. This one's got 1-inch hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. It's the one for the Mississippi area north of Jackson. And then the one that's continuing still has 20 minutes left on it in Alabama. 60-mile-an-hour winds on this, but the hail has started to go down in size, so that's always a good thing. Our tornado watch that has been issued still has about 274 minutes. So you got a little time before that expires. So we're going to keep an eye on things throughout the day to let you know anything that might be going to occur in your area with severe weather. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and throw that in the chat, and Jake will keep an eye on that so that way we can answer whatever we can for you.
Oh, absolutely, guys and girls. If you have anything you want to ask, any concerns, queries, or any area in specific that you want us to look into and see what it's going to be like over there or what's going to be coming your way, then do put it into the chat. And
just as a point of interest, crazy part about these storms down here, just to the north of these storms, clear down into Texas, New Mexico, the panhandle of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, corner of Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, and Kentucky. They're getting snow. So the line that's going across is just got such a drastic change in temperatures from one side to the other.
All right. This tornado warning will remain in effect until 2:45 p.m. Central Standard Time for West Central Rapids and northeastern Vernon parishes. At 2:26 p.m. Central Standard Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Slagle, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. A hazardous tornado in source is still a radar indicated rotation.
Slagle and LeCamp, Louisiana. That storm's going to be around your location here in just a couple minutes. You're probably starting to feel the effects of it. Clifton, it'll be in your neck of the woods in 10 minutes after that, so around 2:40. You might even be starting to see the area to that around you start to get maybe a little dark on you. And CPAR around 2:45 Central Standard Time. And again, this tornado warning is just radar indicated rotation, which means it is very likely that a tornado could be produced by this system, or this particular storm. So get in your safe spaces.
One new severe thunderstorm warning for Mississippi.
All right. The National Weather Service in Jackson has also issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Leake County in central Mississippi, southeastern Attala County in central Mississippi, northeastern Madison County in central Mississippi, until 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. At 2:28 p.m. Central Standard Time, severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from near Newport to near Camden to Sharon, moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. A hazardous 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and quarter-sized hail source is radar indicated.
So if you are in the Farm Haven, Camden, Thomastown, Singleton, Carthage, Redwater, Zama, and Renfro area, This storm is going to impact you. High winds, we're looking 60 mile an hour. That's pretty good gust. And inch hail probably won't hurt as bad, but you'll still feel it. The National Weather Service in Lake Charles has just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning.
Copy. Oh, there it is.
There is one new severe
All right.
thunderstorm warning for Texas.
The National Weather Service in Lake Charles has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northern Newton County in southeastern Texas and east central Jasper County in southeastern Texas until 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. At 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, a severe thunderstorm was located near Jamestown, or near Newton, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. Hazard is 60 mile an hour wind gust and quarter-sized hail. Source is radar indicated.
Sir, if you are in the Jasper, Newton, Jamestown, Farsville, and Roganville areas, this will be impacting you any moment. This storm has already produced inch and inch and a quarter hail just to the southwest of that location, so it could very well produce the same. Which again, can still hurt a little bit.
Growing just a tad bit concerned about that rotation and that TOR.
Copy.
Scans like this keep up, I would not be surprised to see another tornado issued.
Right, so let's pop over and have a look at some of the other thunderstorms that got going on. This one here for Grove Hill, Fulton, Thomasville, Pike Hill, and it's going to head towards Yellow Buff. And that is in Alabama. Over in Texas, Newton has one which is chasing that path for that tornado warning. And then Missouri has two going on right now.
So to recap, we have one tornado warning and 4 severe thunderstorm warnings currently in the south. That has just been wreaking havoc across the south pretty much all morning. It's just been one thing after another. And again, these storms have had history of producing tornadoes, so I'm be very wary as these warnings do come out, because it's a very good chance that it could produce another tornado. And make sure you have a safe place to go to. You've got to leave. Yeah, go ahead, Stephen.
My apologies. I would like to note that a tighter velocity couplet is now present on radar just south of Simpson. This one may actually be trying to make the run at an actual tornado.
Okay.
So anyone out ahead of this needs to be taking shelter immediately.
In the Simpson area or along Highway 28 there.
I would say along Highway 28 and probably downstream near Boyce and Alexandria.
All right. So yeah, if you're Simpson, you should probably be in shelter anyway because you're in the tornado warned area. And if you are anywhere on that northeast side of that tornado, so Boyce, Alexandria, if you're at the Alexandria airport, probably should get into shelter. Ball would be after that. If you are in the path of this storm, you should be look at getting into shelter as quickly as possible. If you do have to leave your place of residence because you don't have that safe of a spot, or maybe you don't feel comfortable in on a ground level in a corner or whatever the case may be, make ahead of time plans so that way you're not caught in that storm. Know where you're going to go, know what you're going to do, and make sure that you can do it within a moment's notice. Don't wait to the very last moment. Get to where you need to be. And again, if you don't have a basement, or maybe you just don't feel comfortable going to that closet on the interior of your house, just know where you're going to go ahead of time and get there. That goes for if you're going to be on the road and something happens. Do you know where you're going to go and what to do if you're on the road? So many theories have been thrown around for years, and that is, don't park under an overpass. Don't do it. Very dangerous area. And if it's hailing hard, raining hard, don't just stop on the highway. Pull over. Get over as quickly as you can, and put your hazard lights on. That just is safety wise for you.
May I say something real quick here?
Absolutely.
One of our experimental models that we've been using, called StormNet, is now highlighting this particular TOR warned area for significant tornado probabilities. So this entire area is not out of the cleared quite yet. And that will coincide with the wild radar readings we are getting right now. I would also like to note we now have a new TVS mark. So D9, this will be within the tornado warned area, east-northeast at 36 miles an hour. Hail probability is at 90%, severe hail probability 40. Max hail size is at 1 inch, max DPZ of 61, VIOs of 40, mesos of 5. This is a feasible TVS marker.
And Stephen, what do you mean by TVS?
TVS would be a tornado vortex signature. That icon is placed in the approximate area that rotation is detected. In this case, 2:28 p.m. rotation was detected right in this area.
So you see that little icon there? That's what that TVS means. That's that marker that he's talking about. It's literally showing that there is a vortex signature, meaning that this could be trying to produce a tornado at this time. So if you're not in your safe spot in Simpson or the surrounding southern area of Simpson, you need to be in your safe spot at this point.
Yeah, this warning is set to expire within 6 minutes. However, I am anticipating another reissuance of this TOR.
Copy that.
Just looking into that SVR, that's behind the TR at the moment over Newton. We have quite a significant rotation marker.
Copy and confirm that as well, just southwest of Newton. Looks to be crossing highway momentarily. 1-inch hail is also falling within this area. That one could potentially get a tornado warning.
I won't be surprised it's following the exact same path as the one ahead of it, so...
That's my thoughts exactly.
And we got two hail reports between the two of them, one for 3/4 inch of hail and one for 1 inch hail. Rose Pine at 3/4 inch, and the other one is 1 inch, and that's over Lesville.
Copy that.
And the little storm to the southeast, or excuse me, southwest of that severe thunderstorm is now producing 1 inch hail as well. So I can safely say none of these storms are going to give up easily today.
No. Yeah, these storms have been chugging along since roughly 3 a.m. this morning,
They've
and they are still holding strong.
they've been kind of going since yesterday.
Yeah.
They've just been they just don't want to give up.
I've got a wind velocity reading near the radar site that's offline. It's KPOE. I'm looking at about 73, 74 mile an hour right in that area.
That's
So,
pretty.
They're getting some pretty gusty winds down in there. Plus, that's what's helping a lot of this move along the way it's moving. It is running right along the Route 28 corridor to the south of Simpson. Does appear to be on track to cross over Interstate 49 within the next probably 20 minutes or so, heading right for the town of Boyce. So the town of Boyce, start looking at getting into your safe spots.
Copy.
I would be remiss to say Alexandria might want to also think about getting into a possibly safe area. Ball, Pollock. I'd maybe even say Colfax, Dry Prong. If you're in any of those areas in front of this storm, I would say shelter is probably not a bad idea to be looking for. 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts, that can knock a pretty substantial tree over. Could take a roof off as well. So you feel the need to take shelter with that, I wouldn't be remiss to say go ahead and do it. Take a blanket with you, cover yourself up. If for some reason a tree falls on your house or the roof comes off, it'll kind of help and protect you from falling debris. So you got to kind of take everything into account with storms. You just never know what's going to happen from moment to moment with when a storm hits or impacts your area. It could. I've seen a storm hit a small town and it's just devastates one side of the town, and you can literally see the rain line that it didn't even touch the other side of town. So storms are very interesting. Can be very dangerous in one area and just feet away, absolutely nothing. Seen a tornado take a house out and just pick it out from a housing development and not touch another one of them. You cannot predict everything about storms. We can only do so much with the information that we have. And speaking of tornadoes, that tornado warning has been allowed to expire. So currently we have no tornado warnings on the board. However, that does not mean that we won't have another one. We still have that severe weather warning down in Louisiana, as well as the two still up in Mississippi. The one in Alabama has been allowed to expire a while ago. I apologize, I did not say that earlier. But these storms are still producing very large hail. There is a report out of Leesville of 1-inch hail.
Copy.
Yeah, they went ahead and let that TOR expire. However, that rotation is still pretty decent in that area, so they may or may not reissue.
Copy
Also,
and
I've
confirm.
got a hail report that came out about 10 minutes ago. Public report from Twitter for Vernon County, Louisiana, at a magnitude 1-inch of 1-inch hail. That's going to be right along the Route 8 and 171 there in Leesville.
Copy that.
Copy.
I'd equate getting hit by a 1-inch hail is like getting hit with a BB. Not that anyone should ever try that out to see what that feels like. I've been hit by a BB and I've been hit by an inch hail. That's about the sting that you feel with a 1-inch hail. It's, you got to figure that stuff's falling from the sky. Velocity on the way down, help me out, Newton. Gravity and falling do not mix when it comes to things that are not necessarily shaped. So I've seen hail that's as smooth as a ping pong ball, and I've also seen hail that looks like shards of glass that are giant. I've also seen hail that look like something out of a horror movie that's covered in spikes. It can be very dangerous to get hit by a piece of hail. All right. Lake Charles has just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning.
The National Weather Service in Lake Charles has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northwestern Rapids Parish in central Louisiana, northeastern Vernon Parish in west central Louisiana until 3:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. At 2:47 p.m. Central Standard Time, a severe thunderstorm was located over Clifton, or 12 miles northwest of Hineston, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. Hazardous 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and quarter-sized hail source is radar indicated. This is also tagged tornado possible.
All right, so this is the area that Caleb was talking about that still has a fairly good area of significant rotation. So this is why they have still kept that tornado tag on it, that it could possibly, again, produce, but it's not quite bad enough to put another tornado warning on it. However, that doesn't mean that it cannot happen. If you are in Alexandria, Boyce, Hineston, Lena, LeCamp, Hutton, Clifton, Flatwoods, Otis, Leander, Cyper, Gardner, and Simpson, you are going to feel the impacts of this storm. It's moving 45 miles an hour. Not really fast, but fast enough that it's going to be on top of you before you know it. And with inch hail and 60-mile-an-hour wind and that little bit of rotation in there, anything's possible that could happen. Just as a little caveat of noticeability here, I did get another TBS marker in the severe thunderstorm warning southeast of that one we were just talking about. This one also is proving that it has the possibility of producing a tornado.
Copy.
This is going to be down by Newton.
So
Took the words
the
out of my mouth on that one, Colin.
Cell D6, east-northeast at 40 miles an hour. Hail probability is at 90%. Severe hail probability is at 20. Max hail size is 0.75. Max DPZ of 60. Val is a 41 and meso and a feasible TVS marker. Broad rotation is observed just southwest of Newton. Copy.
Copy. While he does that, I'm going to read this mesoscale discussion that came out an hour ago. Came out of Norman. For the areas affected central Louisiana into portions of central Mississippi, this kind of ties off into what I was talking about from the SPC earlier. Concerning tornado watch number 20, summary tornadoes and very large hail remain possible for these storms that can mature and interact favorably with the warm front in central Louisiana and Mississippi. Showers and thunderstorms will continue to develop within the warm sector across parts of central Louisiana and Mississippi. Observations have shown the warm front has lifted very near or just north of Jackson. Overall, mid-level ascent remains weak as the primary synoptic trough lags to the west. However, forcing should continue to steadily increase this afternoon and evening as the trough moves east. It is likely that storms that can initiate will take time to mature given the less than optimal background ascent. Storms that can mature and interact with the warm front will pose a significant threat for tornadoes, some potentially strong and very large hail. With the warm front slowly lifting north, the southern flank of activity in northern central Mississippi will have the potential to become surface-based with an attendant increase in severe weather threat. So basically what that means is we've got a lot more storms ahead of us, for lack of better phrases.
That's probably the best way I could probably put it myself. This is basically what he's saying, guys, is that we're not even close to being over. Really not a laughing matter, but it just tickles me when it's said across multiple people. We are seriously not over with this by any stretch of the imagination. Storms are just going to continue to parade across here. If you've been hit by one, get ready because there's probably another one or possibly two more or so behind that last one that hit you. This could just continue because of the direction that these storms are moving. It would be nice if they moved just straight west to east. That way you'd only get one and then everybody else would get one. But unfortunately, storms are not nice like that. They want to make sure that you felt every bit of what they have to offer and produce. That's what causes a lot of problems, especially when it comes to flash flooding, because it's rainstorm after rainstorm after rainstorm after rainstorm. So if we get any flash flood warnings, we will let you know that as soon as they come out.
A quick update on this SVR to the southwest of Alexandria, if I may.
Go ahead, sir.
All right. It is still tagged tornado possible, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. Moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. There's still a pretty significant area of rotation in this. I do look for another possible tornado warning to come out of it because, I mean, it's pretty tight couplet. Alexandria, you do appear to be in the path of this particular cell. So you might be starting to prepare to get into your safe places. Boyce as well. Also, Ball, Pollock, and the airports that are in that region. You guys might want to start looking at getting into your safe spaces. As well. going to cross over the I-49. Sorry, Colin.
No,
It's
go
going to
ahead.
cross over I-49, and it looks like it's going to track along the Route 28 corridor over the next 15 to 20 minutes or so.
Copy. The severe thunderstorm warning for Newton, or that was over Newton, has been allowed to expire.
All right, so we only have, I shouldn't say only, we've got 3 severe thunderstorm warnings currently. 1 in Louisiana and 2 in Mississippi. Those 2 are stacked on top of each other. The one in Louisiana is still tagged with a possible tornado. It is possible that it could produce one, but not strong enough that they put a tornado warning on it. But again, with any of these storms, they're in that possibility of those type of storms that could produce a tornado. So keep an eye on your local weather station or somebody that's live on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, and make sure that you're keeping an eye on what's going on so that way you're not caught in a bad situation.
Also, I want to state for the record, let me switch radar sites here so I can try to get a better view of these storms. We've got a couple SVRs in Mississippi. Looks like for Italia, Leake, and Madison counties, all in central Mississippi. This did come out about roughly 30 minutes ago. However, we still have 30 minutes left on these. Severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from near Newport to near Camden to Sharon, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. Hazards associated with this storm: 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. Looks like it's going to be near Farmhaven, Camden, and Thomastown around 2:35. It's already past there. And they do continue to be moving east. There's also an extension of that to the north of Carthage that expires in 17 minutes. And I can confirm that is along a nice little squall line, it appears.
Which I would say usually is accompanied with quite a bit of rain and quite a bit of wind. It could, possibly could do what they call a front leading line. On that front leading line, they could do little pop-up tornadoes, what they call them, because it's moving so quickly and you get sheared wind that starts to rotate the front of those storms. Now, I'm not saying that that is going to happen. However, I never keep it out of my head as a possibility. So again, keep your eye on what's going on, because even along a front line like that, you could see the possibility of a small spin up, which have been known to have quite a bit of destruction with them.
Yes, and the severe thunderstorm warning I just read off is in the box for the severe thunderstorm watch number 19 that was issued today at 1:55 Central. This is a pretty significant squall line stretching up from Carthage clear up to the east of Grenada. It is bowing out from the west. So you're probably going to be looking at some pretty significant winds and some rain and even some hail and pretty good lightning in those areas. So take shelter, stay inside, and stay tuned to somebody, local weather station or somebody wherever they may be live as well.
Got a lot to choose from. A lot of people out there going live, and we're not trying to monopolize on anything. We're just trying to make sure everybody's safe. And that's why we like being live, because we've got some great and amazing people on this team that's what they love to do, is they love to watch and they love to report to give as much information as they can to keep as many people safe as they possibly can with any storm that comes along. And again, we are the International Weather Alert Team, and we don't just base ourselves out of the United States. We actually watch the entire globe from shore to shore to shore to shore. We watch for hurricanes and all kinds of severe weather, whether it's on land or in the water. We also have a chief that watches for earthquakes and volcanoes. So we've been watching all that's going on in Iceland right now with all the fissures that are going on, and trying to get information out as soon as possible for everybody, as well as the rogue tsunami that might show up from any sort of earthquake or landslide in the ocean. So we are here just to keep everyone safe and everybody in the know. And just as a reminder, if you are anywhere in the panhandle of Texas or New Mexico, Oklahoma, southeast corner of Kansas, northeast corner of Arkansas, South Missouri, South Indiana, South Illinois, northern Kentucky, and just a little southwest corner of Ohio, as well as Pennsylvania, New York, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, anywhere up in those areas, you are under some significant snowfall warnings, watches, and advisories. And I tell Montana that they've got some going on up there, but it's Montana. It's this time of year. They're probably used to it. But just so you're aware, Montana, you do have a couple areas of some pretty significant snowfall, as well as the mountains of Washington State. And if anybody's not aware, it sounds like the Northeast is going to get a little bit of snow for Valentine's Day. You can't blame us in Nebraska for that because we didn't send it. This is from south of us now. So you can blame those states for sending that your way for the lovey-dovey holiday.
For the record, we'll still find a way to blame you.
Absolutely. That's what they do. Might as well. We've been awfully lucky this year. We've had, well, I shouldn't say lucky. Our snow is what gives us our moisture, but as far as luck goes in the cold weather, we've only had one really big cold snap in Nebraska, which is quite unusual. But our climate is changing, and that's why we've got people from the UK, because of that, their weather is also starting to change. Jake and Andrew are two of our people over there, and they actually had tornadoes not that long ago in the UK, when they're used to not getting as many of those, and they had quite a few in that storm up there. So and I suppose I better not leave out Alaska. They do have a couple winter storm warnings up there. Go ahead, Stephen.
Give me just uno momento. I think it's this one. Yes. The National Weather Service in Charlotte has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Grant Parish in north central Louisiana and west central LaSalle Parish in north central Louisiana until 3:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. 3 or 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, a severe thunderstorm was located near Lena, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. Hazard is 60-mile-an-hour wind gust to quarter-sized hail. Source is radar indicated. This is also tagged tornado possible. This will be an extension of that other one to its south.
All right, this is going to be for areas of Colfax, Pollock, Dry Prong, Georgetown, Zenora, Rogers, Lake, Ayette. I apologize for that one. Fishville, Willena, Bentley, and Rochelle. If you're in these areas, you're going to feel the impact of this particular storm. And you heard him right. They did tag this with a possible tornado. So this storm, as we know, have had the history of producing tornadoes, and I would say that it is not out of the possibility that it would actually do that again. There's a little rotation on it. Not a lot, a little bit, but a little bit will do it. That's what'll throw that tag on there.
I'd like to touch on something, if I may.
Oh, I'd love it if you would.
Mesoscale precipitation discussion that was issued today at 10:11. I know I'm just now getting to it. I'm a day late and a dollar short, but this was issued from the Weather Prediction Center in College Park, Maryland. Areas affected are northern Louisiana, southeastern Arkansas, portions of northern and central Mississippi. Concerning heavy rainfall and flash flooding are possible. So those of you guys that are getting a lot of these storms, keep an eye out for flash flooding and go ahead and hit that TOR that just got issued. I can wait. It's like it was a continuance. I got it. You want me to give it out?
You said a tornado warning?
It's a continuance of a tornado warning. But however...
Oh, yeah, we're not showing any on ours. Are you? Did you get it through HQ?
It's through IEN bot.
Oh, yeah.
I don't either, so I wonder if my bot just had a stroke.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah, it just literally just came in. But it's tagged 245 until 245. So yeah, this one's definitely expired by now. My apologies.
Yeah, must have been an oops on their end, possibly.
Yeah, something's messed up somewhere. But back to this MPD flash flooding possible statement. A conditional isolated flash flood threat is evolving across the discussion area as an organized convective complex enters northwestern Louisiana. Wet soils from prior runoff and brief, heavy downpours could promote excessive runoff in a few areas. Much of the outlined discussion area has experienced 2 to 4 inches of rainfall over the last 24 hours, which results in wet soils and very low FFG thresholds, generally along an axis from near Lake Providence to Columbus, Lake Providence, Louisiana to Columbus, Mississippi. Meanwhile, an organized MCS was approaching the Texas-Louisiana border near Shreveport. Mind you, this came out at 11 minutes after 10 Eastern Time this morning. And additional showers are persisting with a warm advection regime from central Louisiana to near Jackson, Mississippi. So basically, on top of the rain that you guys have already experienced, you're going to experience more. And I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm going to. If you experience flooding, do your best to avoid it. Turn around, don't drown, don't drive through flooded roadways, even if you can see the road beneath. It's just not worth it. And in my experience, first responders don't want to go into floodwaters any more than you guys want to be there either.
I was a fireman for 10, 15 years, and we don't even like to go in that, even in our big trucks. Yeah, we're a little higher off the ground. Caleb and I both drive. I used to. Caleb still does drive buses. We're even up off the ground, and we don't even like. We actually have policies in our, from where I'm from. We're not allowed to drive in flooded areas because, they're dangerous. You don't know how fast the water is moving a lot of times because surface movement is sometimes not as great as what the lower movement is. So it's an optical illusion in many cases. It's just not, we had one truck on our fire department that had a snorkel top, which is where we could vent out if we needed to go into deep water. That was the only truck that we ever took into deep water if we had to. And luckily, we never had to go rescue anybody from deep water. We had to rescue people from where the deep water was not allowing them to get out, and we needed to get them out because deep water was going to get worse where they were at. So heed the warning and do not drive through flooded roadways. You just don't know how deep it is, and you just don't know how fast it is. Safety first.
And a quick
yeah, go ahead.
definition of MCS, which I mentioned in that flooding bulletin. Basically, MCS storms are responsible for a large number of weather phenomena. Produced a vast majority of rainfall that occurs across the Great Plains and through the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley during the summer. So basically, I will get you the actual acronym here as soon as my computer decides it wants to work. Mesoscale convective system. The more you know. Which is basically a big group of storms that create havoc. Can be associated with rain, wind, possibly an isolated tornado or two. They are very interesting pieces of weather phenomena.
And there it is. The more you know.
And it does look like our SVR for Carthage has been allowed to expire. There is still one just to the north near, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Kosciusko. Cusco? I'm going to say it's Cusco.
I like it. Cusco,
Also,
Ethel, cool.
Yeah. Cusco, Ethel, McCool, Weir, Ackerman, and Sturgis. It's going to be to the west of Columbus, Mississippi. That squall line is heading your direction. There is a special weather statement out ahead of this squall line. So be prepared for some wind, rain, some thunder and lightning. For now, it's still below severe limits. But if it continues to grow, I figure there probably will be an SVR out there at some point for that.
Agreed. Yeah, I'd even put West Point in that to be on the lookout. Probably all the way down to DeKalb, Philadelphia.
Well, Aberdeen, West Point, Starkville, Columbus, Louisville, Brooksville, Macon, Philadelphia, DeKalb, on into the Alabama state line. If you're along the state line right there, be prepared because these storms are heading your way.
Very, very broad rotation could be observed just to the east of Florence. Very, very broad. Still east of Florence, attempting to cross Highway 469 in Mississippi. It's like so tiny. Just a second. I will locate that.
That's out of Lake Charles again.
Oh, our friends.
Yeah. We love Louisiana.
Oh, we do. The National Weather Service in Lake Charles has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for central Vernon Parish in west central Louisiana until 3:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. At 3:13 p.m. Central Standard Time, a severe thunderstorm was located near Rose Pine, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. Hazard is 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and quarter-sized hail. Source is radar indicated. This is not tag tornado possible. I can say that firmly.
Now, that's a first, considering this is in that nice line of storms. This is going to be for the areas of DeRuyter, Leesville, Rose Pine, Anacoco, Folkpolk, Slaggle, New Lano, LeCamp, Burfurry, Simpson, and Pickering. So if you're in the areas of any of these cities, you might want to possibly think about getting into at least indoors.
And StormNet is liking that complex just to the southwest of Jackson in Mississippi. So that complex kind of has my interest revolving tornado potential.
Yeah, I was looking at that and thinking the same thing.
Copy that.
Mm-hmm.
And these storms are relatively strong already.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6. 6 in that one area. Oh, 7.
So basically, what we're seeing here is several areas in just that one cell that are causing some areas of rotation. Too many scattered out like that can sometimes break up the possibility of causing one because you have too many areas in one spot. You know, the more you have, not always a good thing. But if they start to get minimalizing in that storm and one big one starts to grow, we can see a potential for a tornado. The other problem I see when you have multiple areas of rotation is the possibility of multiple vortexes, which we definitely don't want to see. Luckily, they're not super close together, so they're not going to be what we consider sisters, but it is possible that you have one and 5 miles away, you have another one, 10 away, you have another one. So these could be a very serious situation, so we're going to continue to monitor them. And it shows we are in that new severe thunderstorm warning that's got Leesville in it, has another marker for 1-inch hail. So that area should be on the watch out for more hail.
For the first time in a while, according to mesoanalysis, there is 4,000 joules per kilogram worth of CAPE just hanging out in the Gulf.
And it can just stay there.
Right. I don't need that coming on shore.
Yeah. Steve, you guys, I'm going to take a real quick mini break here. So while I do that, I'm going to let Steven give you kind of a little explanation as they watch the map here for more things that pop up. Just exactly what he was talking about just then, and what the significance is about having Cape anywhere. All right, so go ahead, Stephen, and take it away, and I'll be right back, y'all.
Word. It's going to be a short explanation, really. CAPE is just an abbreviation for the term convective available potential energy, in which all that is just storm fuel. Pretty much the storms have to have this element in order to become severe, for lack of better terms. But anything over, well, anything realistically over 1,000 would be enough to support any sort of severe hazard, whether it be damaging winds or weak tornadoes. Anything over 3,000 is considered significant, in which, when we have an excess amount of CAPE and plenty of storms that will take advantage of that atmosphere, we get an environment that will be more conducive to your violent long track tornadoes. Pretty much 1 out of 4 elements, storm development, can cause such a devastation with the environment. And that is all I have. Caleb, you got an update for me?
Nothing significant at this time. I'm just keeping an eye on this squall line that's continuing towards West Point, Columbus, towards the Mississippi-Alabama state line. Y'all should be seeing these storms anytime within the next 20 to 30 minutes. Starkville, Columbus, West Point, Aberdeen, Louisville. You guys will be getting it here shortly. It's pretty good wind and rain with these storms. Well, some lightning and hail are possible. Nothing really remarkable in the waves of velocity. And storm tops are in about the 25 to 30,000 foot range. They could grow, but for now they're just kind of creeping their way east.
Copy that.
A nice little set of storms going through Montgomery at this time. There is a special weather statement out for it. Looks like it expires in 22 minutes. Wind gusts up to 40 mile per hour. Pea-sized hail are included with these. Some of the locations are Meadville, Pike Road, Pine Level, Sprague, Sellers, Strata, Carter's Hill, just to name a few. This particular set of storms is moving east at 50 miles per hour. At the time this was issued, approximately 5 to 7 minutes ago, the storms were, near Davenport or 9 miles southeast of Haynesville. So if you're in the Montgomery, Alabama area, you're going to be wanting to taking some shelter from these storms and keeping an ear out to your local media outlets or somebody like us or any other storm team you may choose to follow for updates on that.
Copy that. Would also like to note that within this complex of storms in Mississippi, just to the west of, I'm assuming, Wesson, rotation can be observed just to the west, and that'll be just east of Fayette. And that may actually be feasible rotation.
Are you, Steve? I didn't know you were unmuted.
Oh, you're good.
You get a kick out of that, though.
I do like that.
Yeah, so Caleb, I'm just looking at the NWS bot here on our Discord, and yeah, sure enough, they did have a continuation of that tornado warning that never did pop up.
It helps if I unmute myself. It's nice to know I'm not going crazy.
Yeah, but they never did put out a cancellation for it either.
I think they just allowed it to expire.
Yeah. And that happens. We've had that happen a couple times. I remember uh, watching weather one time, and they put out a tornado warning nowhere near the storm, and there was nothing there to even cause a tornado warning. I think sometimes you hit the wrong button, and that's what happens. So, and at least we know it's working.
I believe we had that problem a couple times last year, didn't we, Steven?
Yes, sir.
I mean, the storm was 20 some miles away from where the warning was actually posted. And I'm just like, okay, good job. Yeah.
And we've seen tornado warnings pop out of storms that aren't even in the watch area or even in the percentage area too. Uh, it can pop up a storm at any point, and that can be crazy. Go ahead, Jake. You
Absolutely.
got something? Thank you, sir.
Copy that.
And obviously, I mean, stand by.
Yeah.
So I was talking about the storms that are rolling through Montgomery right now, and I had mentioned there was a special weather statement. I just had a TVS marker pop up. I'm going to talk about that as soon as I sort my screen out here. So Kilo 2, this is going to be just to the south of Montgomery. East at 45 miles per hour. The hail probability is 80%. Severe hail is 30%. Max size, about 3/4 of an inch. Max DBZ on that's going to be 61. VILs of 37. MESO marker of 6. And this is a pretty significant TVS marker. I'm looking into rotation right now. There is a tad bit of broad rotation down to the south of Montgomery. However, I do not believe it to be in severe limits at this time.
Thank you, sir. National Weather
Great.
Service out of Birmingham has just issued a severe thunderstorm warning. Go ahead, Stephen.
They've issued that severe thunderstorm warning for northwestern Bullock County in southeastern Alabama, southwestern Macon County in southeastern Alabama, central Montgomery County in south central Alabama. At 3:33 p.m. Central Standard Time, a severe thunderstorm was located over Sprague, or 7 miles northwest of Meadville, moving east at 45 miles an hour. Hazard is 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, and source is radar indicated.
And this is exactly in that area that had the special weather statement that Caleb was talking about that had TBS marker that's causing a possible tornado area. Not that it's going to, or it has. This SVR, severe thunderstorm warning, is not possibly tagged with a tornado, but it is a possibility nevertheless. This is the thing going to include Union Springs, Meadville, Pike Road, Pike Level, Franklin Field, Hardaway, Snowden, Sprague, Shopton, Sellers, Raymer, Carter's Hill, Mitchell, Simsville, and Cecil. If you're in any of those areas, you may want to get inside, take a little bit of shelter. This is got 60-mile-an-hour winds in it. Hail seems to be minimal, but a possibility. And again, this does have a TVS marker on it, like we said earlier, does contain the possibility of putting a tornado in it. However, they did not say that it's tornado tagged at this time. but it is a
It should be.
possibility.
Yeah, it's definitely trying to bow out from the back and create a hook echo, it looks like. But I do have an area of concern that's also growing just to the northeast of this SVR, to the south of Montgomery. They're just south of Auburn. It's a pretty significant cell that's rolling through. I do have a marker. It's a hail marker. It's Gulf Zero, moving east-northeast at 52 miles per hour. Hail probability is 90% with a 50% severe hail probability. Roughly 3/4 inch in size. VIL's 39 on it with a max DBZ 64 and a MESO marker of 2. So you guys in the areas of, as soon as I can find a name, it's going to be to the south of Auburn University, to the east of the Tuskegee National Forest. You guys might want to be taking shelter coming into Dupree, Watley Crossroad, Mitchell Crossroads, Wright Crossroads, and Society Hills in those areas. Pretty significant storm heading your way. Still below severe limits at this time. However, I would keep an ear out for any changes in that.
Thank you, sir. And this is that same storm that was causing some havoc just to the southwest of Montgomery not that long ago, and it is now pushed across to Montgomery. And there's a little one out in front of it that's starting to cause some issues here in Smith Station or Columbus, Crawford, and any of those areas out in front of that little cell that's starting to build up there south of Auburn. I would probably think about getting indoors just in case. And Montgomery and south down the 331 highway, I would probably, if you're anywhere on the east side of that, be on the lookout for that storm that is going to be rolling through here. It's going to be hitting Carter's Hill, Shepherd's Hill, Canty, Mamie, Downing. You guys are going to get hit pretty good here pretty soon. So and that TDS marker is still hanging on, which you're not in the tornado watch area, but you are still in that 2% area of possible tornadic activity. So it is not outside of the realm of possibility to get a tornado. It's just not as high as 5 or 10, but it is still possible.
Got a couple of wind damage reports here.
Go ahead.
This report came out. I am a little late on it. I think. I'm not sure because it says 3:40 and it's 4:40 now. So I don't know if this just came out or if it's been out for a minute. Hinds County, Mississippi, 4 miles east of Edwards. Emergency management's reporting a tree down blocking the roadway on Billy Fields Road near DJ Johnson. I also have a second one 3 miles south of Bolton, also in Hinds County. Emergency management reporting a tree down blocking the road on Raymond Bolton Road near Houston. Also, the last one, amateur radio reports Scott County, Mississippi, 2 miles west of Morton. Trees down along Morton Rankin County Line Road. That's a tongue twister. Which that report looks like it came out a while ago, but still thought I'd put that out there in case somebody needed to know.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. It's nice getting these reports from different areas so we know what kind of storm it was that went through. The National Weather Service uses these as well, kind of to give an idea of how costly a storm each one is, that each one of those reports is helpful in that, especially when it comes time for the insurance adjuster to show up to your place if you know, lost some shingles or maybe your car or something from this type of damage. And this is a very credible source that, not to say that the public's not credible, but it is coming from an emergency manager, which most call more credible than others, which, you know, somebody sees something, that's pretty much a good credit in my book. So you can place a report. We and many others would appreciate it, so we know what kind of damage you guys are receiving from these storms.
Several ways to do that. If you're not sure, MPing app is a good way to report. Also, you could notify your local National Weather Service office, whether it be via email or I believe they have a form on their website so you can fill out, as well as social media, Twitter, Facebook, etc. Or you could use the Rapid Report app, which I believe that goes through Spotter Network. So they have a lot of those as well. So there's multiple ways to getting these reports in.
Thank you very much for that information. Very good information for anybody to have to help in the idea of what has happened from each of these storms. You can let us know all kinds of information from those. Thank you, Caleb, for that information. Just as a heads up, I'm getting another TVS marker back in Louisiana. This is going to be, I'm on the Lake Charles radar site. This is going to be right about the area of, I can read these, Dugout Road in Louisiana. It says got a 90% hail probability, 10 severe hail probability. It's just a 3/4 inch hail size with a max DBZ of 58, VIL of 38, Meso of 3, and again, a true TBS marker.
And this is going to be to the area to the southeast of New Lano. They just issued a special weather statement out for that area, southwest of the KPOE radar site.
Thank you, sir. And we have another severe thunderstorm warning out of the National Weather Service in Shreveport. Go ahead, Stephen.
That will be for Eastern Grant Parish in north central Louisiana, South Central Caldwell Parish in north central Louisiana, LaSalle Parish in north central Louisiana until 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. At 3:42 Central Standard Time, a severe storm located 11 miles north of Ball, or 17 miles north of Pineville, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. Hazard is 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and quarter-sized hail. Source is radar indicated.
These areas that are going to be impacted by this new severe thunderstorm warning are going to be Jenna, Olia. Yeah, well, I apologize if I misdone it. Midway, Urena, Pollock, Dry Prong, Toulouse, Georgetown, Nebu, Balding, Rogers, Standard, Rochelle, Zenoria, Burlington, and Fishville. I apologize, we're not good with all of these names. Some of them are, when you're not from there, it's hard to know exactly how they're pronounced. But you guys are going to be in the affected area of this storm system that has just been warned for severe weather.
Copy that.
Oh, that's for Andrew's significant other?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Andrew's one of our other UK He is Stephen's cohort on the UK side. He's our chief of radar weather over in the UK. His significant other is in the path of that particular storm, so we're going to take a minute to get a hold of him so he can give her a heads up. And again, currently we have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings out, one in Louisiana, one in Alabama, and the one that had the TBS marker on it in Louisiana is currently just a special weather statement. And we sometimes laugh about those, but in many cases, they're no laughing because that is kind of what we call the advisory to a severe thunderstorm warning. That's the step right before that, which is starting to cause some problems from that storm. So be on the lookout for even those, because those can cause damage. We've seen straight line winds come from special weather statements. And as we all know, straight line winds can be very damaging.
I'm gonna be real honest. I'm not gonna be surprised if a tornado warning is not issued Bullock, Macon, and Montgomery counties. I would like all of you to switch to reflectivity and take a good look at that. And then pair that with velocity.
I'm gonna lean on an agreement with that.
As am I.
Pretty significant area of broad rotation starting to form just to the southeast of Montgomery.
This is what a storm looks like when it takes in more SRH, which that is storm velocity.
If you're along the Highway 82 corridor, I'd be probably thinking about getting into a safe space. This possibly could be an area of tornadic activity, which there are quite a few little towns along that: Downing, Shopton, Hector, Simsville, Bruceville, Cornerstone, Thompson, Fitzpatrick. I'd even go all the way over to Union Springs, Sedgefield, Fort Davis, and on over. This, you guys should all be probably looking at getting into a safe space. We are starting to see some rotation with this storm here. Copy that.
Copy.
Anybody knows anybody that works with the KPOE radar site? We'd like to get them to have that back up and running here soon.
An NWS. I can't remember if that was the one they were moving or if that was just down for maintenance or for some reason.
The one they're moving is north of New Orleans.
KL or KILX is what went down.
Yeah. That's the one they're moving. They're moving it from Slidell to Hammond.
hmm It'll be available next month.
Very
It's down
possible.
due for maintenance. I believe that was posted on Twitter.
And this normally would be the perfect time of year to take down radars for maintenance or any other projects that need to be done on them. Unfortunately, this year has proved to been a poor time to do it. Not anything on their part, just because Mother Nature had a different idea in store, and she's making that very evident. Yeah, I'm going to honestly say that we have not had a break in weather since 2023's spring start. Seems like we've gone all winter long with some sort of severe weather. One of the craziest things, we just had that tornado in Wisconsin just a few days ago, and we discovered that was their first ever tornado, and this is in the reporting era that they've ever had in the month of February. That's not to say they have never had one, but as far as reporting of severe weather, that was their first one that's been reported in February. This is kind of unprecedented for places such as Wisconsin. It's not unusual for the South to get this type of weather this time of year. We just haven't seen it that often as we have. And that's just one of those things from the changing of our climate. We're going to get different types of storm systems, at different times a year. So, and that's just the way it is. When I was a kid, we used to get massive snowstorms here in Nebraska, and I can't even tell you the last time we had a massive snowstorm. So it's just happened.
Mm. I'm going to go ahead and say we've got pretty tight rotation just on the northeastern side of Highway 82 now in Alabama. I actually got several areas of rotation within this cell.
I agree with that. There's
Oh yeah,
couple good. That one just north of 82 is definitely the most prominent, but there's several areas as a whole of rotation right there, right along the I-82 and 110 corridors there, just to the west of Union Springs.
I am curious to see what that was like.
Even you think you could find us a sounding for that?
Do you know who I am?
My question was, will you find us a sounding for that?
You're right. I absolutely will.
and there it is, folks.
I will find that sounding. I promise you that.
Listen, NWS, if you're watching this, I know a guy.
I also know a guy.
Yeah, I know a couple.
Steven, you dummy, you were the guy I was talking about. Don't ruin it for me.
Hey, don't give me too much credit now.
I've been known to call Steven the Storm Whisperer. He's able to pretty much feel something out.
Hey, he's already got a big enough head. We don't need to make it any bigger, Colin.
You're right. He's right.
Though, I will say the group of people we do have that are on this team have the knack for it. They really do. Many of us are able to look at a storm and kind of can give an idea of what we think or may not think it's going to do. Steven and I were just laughing not too long ago about a prediction that we thought was going to happen. And the very next day, the prediction came out as we were almost spot on. So it's, sometimes you get lucky. It's not always perfect, but, you get to the point where you can see what's going on, and you can kind of feel out how it's going to go. And if you are somebody that's enthusiastic about the weather and want to learn more, or if you know how to run radar and you want to be part of more, or if you want to be part of more and learn something to be part of more, reach out to us either on our Facebook, YouTube, X, which was formerly Twitter, or you can send us an email at internationalweatheralertteam@gmail.com. So you can be a part of this crazy team if you would like to.
So are you saying, Colin, the more the merrier?
Absolutely.
Just had to add that one in there just to, make it an even number.
Absolutely. And it looks like they did take that SVR. The severe thunderstorm warning has been allowed to expire south of Montgomery. I would be remiss by saying that they probably should have extended it. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, for the areas of Tuskegee, Union Springs, Midway, Hurtsboro, Smith Station, Columbus, you guys are about to get some of these storms here in about the next 10 to 30 minute range.
Yep.
As these continue to progress eastward. Pretty decent rain, a little bit of wind, possibly some hail possible with these storms. So I would definitely advise you to be indoors and tune to your local media outlets for further information.
I see the issue. Oh, there we go.
I know he's not looking at me, so that makes me feel better.
All right. So I see the issue. The storms are actually being kept in check by capping inversion about the 500 millibar level, but photographs are still slightly curved. It's a crazy looking one, but there's still slight curvature right there. Brief tornadoes are more possible in the near term.
Okay. We're not out of the woods yet, is what I'm getting from what Stephen is telling us. Anything
Indeed.
possible at this point.
Oh yeah. It is pretty much anyone's game at this point.
Welcome to winter severe weather season.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
So they actually canceled that severe thunderstorm warning for Bullock, Macon, and Montgomery counties in Alabama. So they chose to not keep it going nor extend it because apparently it may be falling apart, which that's fine. That means things are going to not be as severe, but that does not mean that is the case. So again, if you were in any of those areas that Caleb had called out, just west or just east of Montgomery, this storm still may be packing a pretty good punch. So, looking out the window at it probably would be a better idea than standing out in it.
Yeah, I'm going to give an update real quick to the north, Columbus, Mississippi. You guys are getting hammered by this squall line that's coming into your area right now. This storm is moving northeast at 55 miles per hour. The areas of Calola Springs and Steens, you should be preparing to be hit by these at any time. Caledonia, within the next 5 to 10 minutes. The state line areas of Gapman, Silligent, Detroit, Vernon, Ethelsville, Millport. You guys are about to be affected by this squall line that is coming your way. It does have some pretty decent winds, some heavy rains. Hail is possible with these storms. 70% probability, severe hail of 40%. Max hail size looking at 3/4 of an inch. So you guys need to be taking some sort of shelter from these as well.
I would even put Buena Vista in a little bit of a heads up. There's a little system starting to build just to the north of you guys, which you might get the tail low end, the south side. And that's going to be coming through Butler and Reynolds. Fort Valley, you might get a little bit of that. And Roberta on the other side of the state line in Georgia. So storms are just going to keep running through. They're starting to come out of the 2% area, but they are still starting to build. So I would say to keep an eye out because hail is possible as well as high winds. So these aren't given up quite yet. There's enough fuel to feed these. You may not see a tornado with these, but again, I never take that out of the picture because you never know. Just in case something could pop off and boom, there it is.
Not gonna lie to you. I don't like the look of this complex just southeast of Montgomery. It's just starting to get that look to it. Especially right in
Yes.
here.
Pretty beefy looking cell.
If it's anything, it's like right here. That is an embedded supercell. Or it just might be a more dominant supercell. Either way, it's got a very tornadic look to it. Oh, well, it did have a tornadic look to it.
And
Now
yeah,
it's just kind of folding in on itself. But rotation is duly noted just to the southwest of Highway 110. And that is northeast of Downing. Yeah, I'm gonna take a look back here.
so our severe thunderstorm warning for Louisiana is going to continue for another 25 minutes. This will not expire until 4:30 Central Standard Time.
Copy.
And of course, there's another one right behind it. And our special weather statement there in Louisiana will expire in approximately 10 minutes. But they just put out two more. One of them is going to be for just behind the severe thunderstorm warning. It's moving about 50 miles an hour. It was around Boyce. 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts with penny-size hail. And then we had two more pop up. This is going to be a storm that is located over Barlow, moving 14. It's over Barlow or 14 miles west of Hazelhurst, moving northeast at 55 mile an hour. It's got 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts with quarter-size hail. And then just to the northeast of that one, there's going to be another one that has got 40-mile-an-hour wind with pea-size hail. This is going to be over Pearl, moving at northeast at 50 miles an hour.
Copy.
And we still have one that is about 9 miles east of Starkville, moving at 55 mile an hour with 50 mile an hour wind gusts in it up by West Point and Columbus area in Mississippi.
Copy.
I'm going to say we have a little lull in our storm systems right now. So what we're going to do, I'm going to give my chiefs a little bit of a break and let them maybe go use the facilities, get some hydration. If any of you know Ryan Hall, water, water, water. So get ourselves rehydrated, maybe get a bite to eat. We'll take a little bit of a break just to kind of get ourselves back up and going. And then we will come back live as things probably are going to kick off. And if they kick off any sooner, we will come back on live a little bit sooner. We want to thank you for watching our live broadcast, and don't go anywhere because we won't, but we will be right back.